Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down big ideas from important sources. Today, we are digging into a concept that's totally reshaping how work gets done: agile project management.
And this quote from Theodore Roszak, it really nails what we're talking about today. We're diving into this revolutionary shift based on Karen R.J. White's book, because for so many companies, agile isn't just some new trend anymore. It's become completely inevitable.
And this really gets to the core of the problem, doesn't it? Our world moves at an incredible speed. It demands results, it demands answers, it demands the next big thing, and it demands it right now. That pressure is just relentless, and you can see the old ways of doing things starting to buckle under the strain.
So to keep up with this need for speed, we can't just work harder. We have to start working smarter. We need a fundamental shift in how we approach our work.
You know those slow, formal processes from the past? The ones built on endless layers of approvals and rigid 5-year plans? Yeah, those are becoming obsolete. They were designed for a much more stable, predictable world, and they just can't keep up when the finish line is constantly moving. So today, the language of business is all about being nimble, being flexible, being agile. And these aren't just buzzwords, you know? They represent a completely different way of thinking about how we operate.
Think about it like this. The old traditional methods were built for a predictable world. You'd set a course for your ocean liner, lock it in, and then just slowly power your way to the destination. And that worked fine, back when the destination didn't move.
But agility, that's totally different. The source defines it as the ability to move with quick, easy grace. It's all about being resourceful and, crucially, being able to change direction the second the environment changes.
So let's dig into that. What exactly is this old way, and why is it breaking down? Where are the cracks in the foundation really showing up?
Well, here it is. Traditional project management, or TPM. It's totally linear, a step-by-step approach. It's designed to solve problems that have finite, predictable solutions. Basically, you define everything, you plan everything down to the last detail, and then you go and execute the plan.
And here's the million-dollar question, right? What happens when that perfect, beautiful plan smacks right into the messy, unpredictable real world? Because the single biggest challenge with this traditional model is just how inflexible it is.
And here's the thing. We're basically asking customers to predict the future. They often have no idea what they really need until they can see and interact with something that's working. This huge gap between planning everything up front and learning as you go, well, that's where you get all the friction, the missed deadlines, and the crazy budget overruns.
So, in response to all of these challenges, a new philosophy started to emerge. And the goal wasn't to just throw away planning altogether, but to completely rethink what planning even means. Okay, this slide is really interesting because it lays out the shift so clearly. Agile isn't about having no process. It's about using techniques that actually embrace uncertainty. Just look at the key differences. We go from linear to iterative, from fixed requirements to evolving ones. And maybe most importantly, we stop seeing change as a problem to be avoided and start expecting it as a normal part of the process.
So, how does this actually work in practice?
Well, this new way of thinking is built on a foundation of several key interconnected ideas.
So, as you can see, the core of Agile really comes down to these 7 concepts from the source. Now, some of these you might expect, right? Things like close customer interaction and using small, skilled teams. But it also includes some pretty interesting ideas, like intentionally delaying decisions into the last responsible moment and being aggressive about eliminating waste. And while all of these are important, the book really highlights one of them as the true game changer: a totally new style of leadership.
And this part is absolutely critical to get right. Agile isn't just some new process you can install like software. It is a mindset, and that mindset has to start right at the top.
I love this line from the book. The role of the project manager just shifts dramatically. They're no longer a controller, dictating tasks and checking boxes. Instead, they become a facilitator. Their main job is to clear roadblocks out of the way and empower their team to do their best work.
And this table just illustrates the difference perfectly. A manager is focused on systems and structures, on the how and the when. But a leader is focused on people and relationships. They're asking why. Agile demands true leadership, someone who inspires and enables, not just someone who plans and controls.
Now, the author uses this famous quote from the comic strip Pogo to make a really crucial point. It's about this powerful moment of self-awareness that is just so central to the whole Agile philosophy.
And this is exactly what the quote is getting at. For these adaptive problems, we don't know the solution up front. In fact, a lot of the time, our own old habits and our own rigid ways of thinking are the biggest part of the problem. Agile leadership means admitting that we have to learn and adapt together as we go.
And when you boil it all down, the entire Agile mindset really comes down to asking these two simple but incredibly powerful questions over and over again. Asking them forces us to cut through all the noise and focus on delivering what truly matters. So the question I want to leave you with is this. In your own work, what have you mistaken as essential that might actually be expendable?